PCWorld fans, Adam here with friend of the show, Brad Shoemaker from Nextlander fame. Go over to nextlander.com for all the good PC gaming, well, and console gaming stuff too. But today, in this video, I want to talk about old hardware. And from a couple perspectives. Old hardware, like really old hardware, but also like, you know, a little more older hardware, I guess. So the two angles is, what should you do with older hardware? Say you're upgrading your system right now or pretty soon. What should you do with old hardware? Should you hold on to it? But then also I want to get into the idea of old vintage hardware. So first up, let's talk about the contemporary stuff. Like, what do you like to hold on to an old PC when you upgrade to a new one?
So if it's the machine you're just replacing,
Yes.
you should probably get rid of it. You probably don't need that.
Really?
The problem is another 15 or 20 years passes, and then you're like, man, I wish I had held on to it. Because the thing about recent old hardware is that it has a way of becoming vintage old hardware.
True.
After enough time passes. So it's a tough question to answer. A lot of it depends on, do you have space to keep old hardware around? Do you need the money by selling what you had before to help maybe finance the new hardware? Like, there's a lot of.
Well, for me though, it's usually around, and I think you can appreciate this too. Like, when you need to rely on hardware for work, sometimes it's really beneficial to have a backup.
That is my use case, absolutely. Like, I've got.
Is that a whole system though? It sounds like it's not a whole system.
In my case, it is a motherboard with a cooler on it and a 3080 sitting on my coffee table at the moment.
Okay.
It's the guts of my old computer. But you're absolutely right. If it's a work machine, if I wake up one day and my GPU has died, I can go get that 3080 out of the closet and back up and running in 10 minutes. Or,
I mean, in some cases, like a friend of yours and mine, Will Smith, from Brad and Will Made a Tech Pod, and Anna Cruz's fame, he does a thing where his main computer, you know, runs the games and does the work stuff, and then his secondary computer is what handles streaming and all that kind of stuff. So in a pinch, if he had a problem with the main computer, he's got that computer already up and running. He just swaps it out.
That's another good point I hadn't even considered. In fact, repurposing old hardware is how I built my first NAS and started going down that deep, dark rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So, like, there are more uses than ever for a secondary PC that are not just kind of your main rig or whatever.
But once again, it'll take up space. Maybe you need the money to sell off parts. Or, I mean, the thing that I like doing where applicable is handing it down. You know, if somebody has a family member, you know, a child that you want to get into PC gaming, hey, check out my old rig, or, you know, hand it off to a friend or, you know, extended family or something.
I don't know. I don't have any specific examples, but I get the sense that a lot of places take donations now of computers as well, like maybe public libraries or school systems or something like that. Something you could look into.
In the extreme end of it, though, there are times, and you alluded to this. There are times where you're like, dang, I wish I had that system. Like, you tell me about your first system, because I know you miss it.
Yes,
you wish you still had it.
Badly is one of the worst mistakes I ever made was when my mom said, hey, those 3 computers sitting in the basement, can I just recycle those? And I was like, yeah, pull the hard drives out, it's fine.
What were they?
So, like, just, I'm going to be old man here for a minute. You're going to reach an age where you are desperately going to wish you could still touch the things you had when you were young, and you're not going to have them anymore. Have you seen Citizen Kane?
Yes.
If you're a big PC nerd, you're probably going to run into some kind of Rosebud situation with an old computer like I have. Our first family computer was, okay, I guess first of all, do you know what the 486 sort of stepping was back in the day?
No, our first family computer was a 486.
Okay, so it was 486 SX had no math coprocessor, no floating point unit. 486 DX had the floating point. Those were the Intel designations. Our first computer was a 46 DLC.
Oh, you had to download.
You might think that. so even at the time when I would tell people, oh, we have a 46 DLC, they're like, what? A 46 what? Like, what? It was a 46 made by Texas Instruments. So I don't remember exactly the circuitous line of licensing.
The calculator people.
Yes. But, you know, Intel created the 486, but there was a company called Cyrix that I don't think exists anymore, that made clone 486s. And if I remember right, this was a Texas Instruments licensed version of the Cyrix design.
Wow.
Of the Intel 486.
Wow. Okay.
It was a severe knockoff, is what I'm saying.
Well, how rare is it?
I don't know. Actually.
But you wish you at least had your original one.
It's tough to say. I think if I remember, and see, this is case in point. I think ours had a separate math coprocessor, the separate floating point chip on the motherboard, separate from the actual CPU.
Huh.
But I can't say because I don't have that system to look at and go take apart anymore.
Well, but
you know.
Do you really feel like, I mean, because obviously you made that decision. I don't know how far you made that decision with your mom to be like, throw it away.
5 years ago or something, 6 years ago, and then like
oh wow, okay,
a year or two later, retro PC stuff, because people build retro machines all the time now. That's like a whole cottage thing, right? And then like a year after that, I turned 40, and that's when things really started.
Yeah, because I was going to ask like what changed.
That's when things really start hitting you of like, man, I wish I had that thing when I was a kid. Like,
I mean, it's also extending to like monitors, like computer monitors and stuff like
absolutely.
that too. So
like CRT monitors are very valuable. Like my first overclock ever was a Pentium 75 290. The guy in the computer shop that sold it to us showed me. He was like, it was literally we're about to leave with the computer, and it was like, hey kid.
Was it the little jumper?
It was absolutely. It was literally, hey kid, check this out. It was literally, hey, if you move this one thing over here,
it's overclocked.
You can get another 15 megahertz. Just like. And I mean, this makes me sound old, but the point I'm trying to make is that everybody watching this is going to have their own version of those stories. If you're passionate about PC hardware, there's going to be things from your past, from your childhood, that are not like things are going to be in the future, and you're going to wish you could fiddle with that stuff.
Can you tell, though? Can you tell what those things are going to be? Because there's probably other things from your childhood.
You have no idea at the time. That's the whole problem. At the time, you have no idea what those things are going to be in the future that you're going to think back on and like, man, I wish I could just like fiddle with that jumper again and see how it worked.
So everyone should just always hold on to their old systems.
Hold on to never get rid of everything. That's what we're
actually, I think Gordon would probably sign off on that.
I can respect that. Look, Gordon is a man with principles. Okay.
No, I mean actually, even Gordon, like when he left his job at Max PC, he's like, oh yeah, I got rid of a ton of stuff. He's like, man, I wish I didn't get rid of that.
There's only so much you can actually do. I mean, I do have my last 3 builds in the closet.
Oh, really?
Going back to like 2006.
Wow, 2006. Okay, that's some vintage stuff right there.
7700K was the last one. It was a Core i7-860 before that. Before that, it was whatever AMD's last single-core CPU was, an Athlon FX.
Oh, wow.
Something. It was some kind of Athlon FX, or Athlon 64 maybe, I forget. Anyway.
Nice.
The point is, though, those are doing nothing. Those are sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
So maybe don't hold on to everything, but like...
Well, what if in that situation your mom would have called you and be like, oh, hey, little Timmy next door, he really wants a new computer. He's gonna, type up some, stuff on it, and he saw you at a computer, and do you want it? So maybe you could have lit up his eyes and. By handing down the love.
I don't think
would that make it feel better?
I don't think I would inflict that 486 on Timmy.
I know,
but my last build though, the one that I don't care about, because that's the thing. You don't really care about the last build, right? It's like, and that's still recent enough. You're like, here you go, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the one with nostalgic value.
But I mean, 20 to 30 years from now, maybe you'll be like, man, that's 7700K. But maybe you would feel better if knowing that 7700K went to
that build ran longer than any build I've ever owned. That's the one, but it's gone. Yeah.
It's hard, right? I mean, that's the struggle.
It's kind of like classic cars, right? Like I'm sure there are people. I guess I am such a person. Some people look at their computers kind of the way they would baby a car, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally.
And that's kind of how I look at it, is like...
Same.
You probably a lot of people wish they could drive the old beater they drove in high school again, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so. No, I can definitely agree with that. I want to hear, though, what people in the chat have to say. I like comment down like if there's specifically a piece of PC hardware that you're like, dang, I loved that thing. I wish I had that again. Let us know. Also, maybe there is a way to get your hands on that Texas Instruments 486.
Possible?
Yeah. There's this thing called the internet.
That's true. Stuff. More stuff getting sold all the time. E-waste. Also, I've never done this, but I've seen a lot of people talk about going to e-waste centers, and you can find like crazy whole computers that
true.
are very retro in nature for basically nothing.
It's true. That's true. Yeah. So anyway, tell us your fun old story. I would love to hear it. Thank you, Brad, for talking about the past, the good old
Absolutely.
days.
I will do it to excess. Did you kids know that CPUs didn't even used to have fans on?
Crazy. Anyway, thank you, Brad. Go over to nextlander.com. Watch all the fun videos. Throw money at the Patreon. All the fun stuff. And thank you for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe here on PC World for more PC hardware and software goodness. We will catch you in the next video.